Welcome to Are You Quizzing Me? I'm Vineet Nair with my co-host Aditya Kashyap. This is a quizzing trivia podcast show where we ask each other questions and share what we know and learn with you. Though in a quizzing format, it's not competitive. The questions are simply a way of sharing our love of trivia. So sit back, relax, and join us as we explore the depths of human knowledge. Here's the format. We ask each other questions alternatingly, as many as time permits, while giving as many clues as needed to help each other get to the answer. Let's get quizzing. So, before we start with the first question, we have, as usual, Aditya's cliffhanger from the previous episode. Tell us, Aditya, what is the theme song of the Odisha Police?
So the Orissa Police, as we discovered in the previous episode, and for those who have not heard it, stop right now, go listen to that episode, and then come back. Okay, that was enough of a spoiler warning. If those of you have not heard it, you wouldn't know, but those of you who have heard it would know that Orissa Police had a pigeon carrier service that they used for many, many decades. So their official theme song would be a very famous song by Lata Mangeshkar from the movie Maine Pyar Kiya, saying Kabutar cha cha cha. Vineet, I have a question for you. How many people do you think we lose per bad joke every episode? How many listeners just drop off at this point? It's like
I think it might be somewhere around 30%.
30%. So we would be a much more successful podcast if I just stop myself from doing this. Every
No,
episode.
but I do enjoy. Poor jokes do have their place in the world.
Yeah. And many years from now, I feel that people might also look back and be like, that was what set us apart. The trivia was fine.
Yes.
It was the poor jokes which were great.
Yes. We can still dream that way.
We
Chalo.
can. Okay. So today you are starting us off, Vineet.
Yes. Oh, yes. It's my turn today. So I have a question which I discovered quite recently. As of January 2023, which is, just a month, the previous month, 30 heads of state have won Nobel Prizes. Let me repeat. 30 heads of state have won Nobel Prizes.
Okay.
17 while in office, 13 before or after serving in office.
Okay.
29 out of these 30 were Nobel Peace Prizes. Who is the only head of state to have won a Nobel Prize for something other than promoting peace?
Heads of state. Can hazard a guess. Is it by any chance APJ Abdul Kalam?
No, he hasn't won a Nobel Prize.
Yeah, I was wondering maybe for like some of his scientific achievement, but he has not won a Nobel Prize, right? Yeah.
No, it is quite interesting that out of 30, only one person has ever won it for something other than peace. And frankly, I don't think he would have ever won for promoting peace.
Interesting. Wouldn't have won it for promoting peace. Okay, I'm going to ask for a hint. Is it Nobel Prize in the sciences or literature?
It's literature. And I will go so far as to say that he also won it while in office.
Oh boy. Were Atal Bihari Vajpayee's poems that popular?
Okay, no, he didn't win a Nobel Prize. Please, no. Okay. He was a very good poet. I
have a collection of his poems.
He's a very good poet, but he's never won the Nobel Prize.
Not there, not in those big leagues. Okay, give me maybe a continent. Which country? Which continent is this?
Geographically, it's in Europe.
Geographically, it's in Europe. Literature, geographically, it's in Europe. Putin has.
I will go so far as to give you the year. It is 1953.
1953. Okay, that helps a little bit. I was like, Putin doesn't have a Nobel Prize. 1953. That's Stalin, right? Are we talking Russia?
Why are you thinking Russia?
Oh, I was just, okay, I put together a bunch of things that you said. You said this guy would probably never get a peace prize. I was thinking of somebody on the more despotic side. And
no, he wasn't a despot. He wasn't a despot. But let's just say he was also known for, some of his more rigid tendencies when it comes to policies. He was not an easily malleable person.
Winston Churchill?
Bang on. It was Winston Churchill.
Winston Churchill got a Nobel Prize in literature?
Yes, in 1953, when he was elected for the second time post-World War II, He did
Oh.
get a Nobel Prize for literature.
What has he written?
I think he had written a couple of books on the history of the world and whatnot.
Okay.
And for the fact that he was, for all his faults, he was a great orator.
Of course. Yeah.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, as I mentioned, he wasn't particularly the most, let's say, flexible person, and
Okay.
he wasn't shy of using force,
Of course, yeah.
and not a particularly nice person when you look at the colonial kind of attitude that he had.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember Shashi Tharoor's famous speech at the Oxford Union, it specifically quoted Churchill writing a note, an annotation in the sides of one of the memos when there's a famine going on in India. Why doesn't Gandhi die?
That's a bold statement to make.
Oh yeah. There's another when he was a Home Secretary. This is in the early 1910s, 1920s. I believe he wrote something similar about Princess Safia. Princess Safia Dalip Singh. Again, by the way, if you've not heard of Princess Safia Dalip Singh, it's a travesty that most people in India have never heard of her, or
I
most
have
people
not,
around the
so I
world have
need
never heard
to.
of her.
I need
She
to read
was
up.
a fascinating person. Her father was an even more fascinating person. Her grandfather was his legend in Punjab, the Sher-e-Punjab himself. So Princess Safia Dalip Singh was also a suffragette. And after a particular protest where the police cracked down pretty hard, she kept writing letters after letters after letters to find the identity and to get one particular policeman, punished for his actions.
Okay.
And apparently, if I remember this correctly, Winston Spencer Churchill was the Home Secretary at the time, and he wrote a note previously saying that stop answering her letters.
Interesting. Yeah.
He was the man for the moment when Britain needed him.
Yeah. I don't think all Britons would look down upon him. I think there are quite a
No,
few
no.
of
I
them
mean,
who
like
would.
he is a well revered figure over there. But as with all revered figures, they have both. They have many sides to them.
As human beings are flawed. Interesting. That's fascinating. I had no idea Winston
Yeah,
Churchill had
29
that.
out of 30 people won for Nobel Peace Prizes.
Did he get one for? Did he get a peace prize?
No.
Also.
He did not. He did
Okay.
not. He got only one, and that was for literature.
Okay. Have any of them gotten more than one?
No, I believe none of the heads of state have got more than one.
Okay.
Many people in the sciences have.
Yeah. I know there are a few who
Linus
have gotten.
Pauling, Richard Feynman, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Richard
Marie
Feynman
Curie.
recently got it, right?
No, Richard Feynman been deceased for some time now, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh wait, do they not give it posthumously?
No, that was the excuse that they did that they
For Gandhi.
gave for not giving Mahatma Gandhi a
Gandhi, yeah.
Nobel Peace Prize.
Okay.
That they
I'm
don't give
thinking
it
Richard
posthumously.
Feynman. Okay. Then I'm confusing him with something.
If I'm not mistaken, I may be mistaken on this. Aditya, fact check this, please. I know Linus Pauling did get two. Marie Curie definitely did. And there are a couple of others also who've had two, but just confirm about Feynman.
I shall do that.
Okay, your
Wonderful.
turn.
That's great trivia. Okay, I shall start with an origin story. So this particular gentleman, he started a company in 1909. He was before that a salesman for his father's soap business. He gave free umbrellas to whoever bought his soap, but the umbrellas faded in the rain, so he instead switched to giving baking powder. So it was a soap business, and as a freebie, he was handing out umbrellas. The umbrellas faded easily in the rain, so he switched to giving baking powder. The baking powder proved to be actually more popular than the soap, so he pivoted to selling baking powder. Now, he continued to give freebies. So now, along with the baking powder, he gave the object that this company is now known for, right? Let's call this object an X. So this X became more popular than the baking powder. So he once again pivoted, and finally, X was what he started selling. And till date, this company is known for selling X, and the company's name is also it's known as X. Yeah.
So what was the product that he was originally selling? He was selling soap.
It was his father's soap business. He started giving umbrellas. The umbrellas were fading, so he moved to baking powder. Baking powder was more popular than the soap, so he started selling baking powder. Baking powder ke saath he wanted to give a freebie, and that freebie turned out to be X, which was more popular than the baking powder. So X became the final product that we today know this company for.
This can't be Nestle, right? This is not. Nestle.
No, this is not Nestle.
Is it a food item by any chance?
You are bang on. It is a food item, yeah.
It's a food item. This is not Alka-Seltzer or something, right? It's not like a digestive.
No,
No.
it's not one of
No.
those. I think you're thinking because of the baking powder, so perhaps that's
Yeah,
where.
I was thinking of, baking. What could baking powder be used for? Then cakes.
Unfortunately, it's not linked to those objects. It's just an interesting story that he pivoted so many times
Okay. So
because
it's
of
completely
freebies.
random. Okay.
Yeah,
No, because my next guess was either going to be, what is that? Aunt Betty's.
Betty Crocker?
Yeah, Betty Crocker. No, that was going to be my next guess. Or
No,
Wakefield. They sell those, a lot of products like this. Okay, but yeah, it's completely random. I'm thinking completely.
it is random. It is random.
Okay, I need a clue.
It would be. It is currently owned by Mars.
Oh, Mars.
Yeah, it's
It's
featuring.
owned by Mars. The company is known for this particular product, and it's also named after this product. I'm guessing it's some sort of chocolate or candy by now.
Yeah, it's in that large umbrella.
That is a very large umbrella.
It is. It is. It is.
It's not salt pot or taffy or something like that, right? It has to be some kind of chocolate.
Yeah.
I have no clue what companies or brands Mars owns. That's making this more difficult.
Yeah, it's a big conglomerate, so it has multiple things under it. Yeah.
No clue. You'll have to give me either a clue or put me out of my misery.
Oh no, I'll give you one more clue. I think you should be able to get it after this. I'll tell you the brands under this larger name. Some of them, this should be a pretty easy clue. So let's go with one of them is called Big Red. One of them is called Five Extra Eclipse. I'm trying to give you the ones which are probably not as commonly known.
Kit Kat? No.
No. Winter
Eclair?
Fresh.
Huh?
Winter Fresh. Double Mint.
Wait, Wrigley's chewing gum.
Wrigley's chewing gum is the one. To be fair, the clues were not helping you to get there very quickly. So this is a convoluted question. I just love the trivia because this man kept pivoting. I love that.
So he made the chewing gum himself?
He realized that. So initially, when the baking powder and the chewing gum freebie, that was not the Wrigley's chewing gum. He was just selling baking powder, and he saw the market for chewing gum because it became very popular. And then he sourced the chewing gum and finally started selling it under his own name.
And his name was, I'm guessing his last
Wrigley,
name was Wrigley.
yeah. William Wrigley Jr.
WW Jr.
That's the one.
Okay. I will remember that. And I have a question for you.
Hit me.
This is a non-exhaustive list. I'm going to give you 4 names. You have to tell me what the connect is.
Okay.
Okay. The pronunciation may not be exactly what it's supposed to be because they're in different languages, but I'm going to try my best.
Okay.
Castello Brujo, Koldov Storets, Mahutukoro, Ugadu.
Oh boy, Vinny, that is. Oh, are you trying to take revenge for the last question? Was it too tough?
Okay, you are definitely going to love the answer. I'm fairly sure of that.
I am. Okay, hit me again with those 4 names.
Castello Brujo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's written Bruxo. I'm guessing it's Brujo as in the Portuguese Spanish pronunciation.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Second one is Koldov Storets. Okay. Mahutukoro. Ugadu, as in Uagadou.
A shot in the dark. People after whom cities are named.
No.
Okay. Then I'm going to ask for a very specific hint. Is the origin country of these people relevant?
These are not people.
Oh, why did I think? Oh, okay. All right. Interesting. For some reason, I thought you. So, what are these names for?
Okay, I'm going to give you a clue. These are all names of institutions.
Oh.
You have to tell me what specific type of institutions and where would I find them.
So that's the connect. These are institutions and what? Okay. And where would you find them? Are they all in the same place? Or are they all in different places? Okay. I'm very lost. Could I have one more clue?
Okay, I'll give you one more clue. I will give you the language of origins of these names. Castello Brujo, I'm not giving you the language, I'll give you the country. It'll make it easier.
Okay.
Castello Brujo is Brazil. Koldov Storets is Russia. Okay. Mahutukoro is Japan. And Ugodu is Uganda.
Wow. My God, I have
I'll give you one
nothing.
more clue.
I have
Think
nothing. Okay.
fiction.
Think fiction.
Yeah.
Brazil, Russia, Japan, Uganda. Are these real places by any chance, or are these places also fictional?
The places are also fictional.
Okay.
As in, these institutions are fictional.
These institutions are fictional. Yeah. Tintin. Is Tintin the connect by any
No,
chance?
it's not Tintin. It's not Tintin.
Okay.
Close. Let's say it's something much, much more popular than Tintin.
More popular than Tintin.
Oh, yeah. You would be very hard pressed to find something more popular than this.
What? Okay. Something more popular than this. Pathan, the movie.
No.
Currently earning a lot of
No.
money.
No. This has
No,
nothing to do
was-
with Pathan.
Okay. But the only fictional thing that I can think of more popular than Tintin is Sherlock Holmes. Does it have
No,
anything to do with
actually,
Sherlock Holmes?
you could argue that in some ways, at least for some people, this is more popular.
Okay, then give me a clue as to what fiction are we talking about? Are we talking literature, film, music?
Let's say literature and film and even music.
Oh God, that did not help me at all.
Tangentially, I mean, like you could think straightforward literature and film, but even music because it's pretty iconic.
Music is iconic. I was just gonna say Shakespeare, but then
No.
Shakespeare, I doubt ever wrote about Japan. Oh boy, no, wait, you'll have to help me out over here. Nothing.
Okay, I literally am going to make you tell me the answer on this. Okay.
Okay, love that.
I will give you one more name from this list. As I mentioned, this is a non-exhaustive list. I've only told you 4.
Okay.
Right. I will give you one more name from this.
Okay.
Ilvermorny.
Why does that sound so familiar?
Yes. No, I gave you the more obscure one from that, but still.
No, but that sounds very familiar. Oh no. Mm-hmm. No, but
One
it
more?
just sounds familiar. Give me another name.
One more. You're going to get it from this one. I'm fairly sure.
Okay.
Beauxbaton.
Beauxbaton. Come on. I knew this. That's why it sounded familiar. It's the schools. Uganda school. I knew this. Oh God. These are the Harry Potter schools where you can.
Yes, these are the visiting schools of Harry Potter.
Oh God, I knew this. Yes. Okay. Because I remember, I think this would have featured in one of my questions at some point. Because I have that link to the names, and it's just that it slipped my mind completely. Brilliant question. Love that.
Okay. So I'm just, for the sake of the audience, according to J.K. Rowling, there are a total of 11 visiting schools. But we have been made privy to the names of only 8 so far.
Okay.
Castelo Brujo, which is in Brazil. Koldov's Torets, which is in Russia. Another piece of trivia, Koldov's Torets pupils played Quidditch on entire trees instead of broomsticks. Yes. Mahutukoro is in Japan.
Okay.
Ugadu is in Uganda, where students practiced magic without needing wands. So it was wandless magic.
Okay.
Beauxbaton is in France. Durmstrang in Scandinavia. The exact location is unknown. Ilvermorny is the school in the US, featured, I think, in the
movies Fantastic Beasts.
Yes, Fantastic Beasts series. And finally, Hogwarts in England. Actually, more correctly, I believe it's somewhere in Scotland, if I'm not mistaken, the school itself. Now, another piece of trivia, the school with the smallest number of students was Mahutukoro in Japan.
Okay.
And can you guess the school with the most number of students?
I'm going to say Brazilian?
No.
No. Uganda?
It's Ugadu. Yes. Because Ugadu, caters for the entire continent of Africa.
Continent of Africa, right. Yeah. Interesting, fascinating. Love that. Great. It's one of those things which at the back of your head, and then
I know. I was fairly sure you knew this, but I wanted you to get to it because
if you had not asked me this question in one of our episodes, it would have 100% been asked by me. So because I know it's there on my trivia bank somewhere.
Yeah,
so that you forget these names. And also interestingly, I think when you read them versus when you hear it, it sounds different. Like probably if I read it in front of me, that would have clicked faster.
Yeah, that might have clicked faster because I was trying to go for the more authentic pronunciation.
No, I think you did a Fantastic job. I think you did a fantastic job
Yeah, instead of
considering these
saying
are all
Castello
fictional
Bruxo and
places.
all, I went for the Bujo from the
Which
epiglottis.
reminds me, while doing the fact check for the last episode, I
Hmm.
realized Saint Blaise was Blaise,
Yeah.
and in my
Oh,
head I had been thinking Saint Blaise is Blaze,
as in
which
Johnny Blaze.
which significantly reduced the cool factor for that name. Because in my head I was like, oh, Saint Blaise, like it's on fire, and then it was Blaze, like Blaise.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. For those of you who have not heard that episode, please go listen to it. Great episode. Okay, so my question now. This particular singer, very famous singer, has an album which faced difficulties when it was released in China because of its merchandise design. The way it was designed, the merchandise was designed, it faced difficulty in China. In fact, when the singer wanted to go on tour over there with this particular album, uh, it was predicted that they might have difficulties in that as well. Very vague question. Ask me for hints if you need them.
Oh, I'll definitely need them, but I'm going to put out a very big shot in the dark here.
Go for it.
Is it Taylor Swift?
You, my man, are a genius. It is Taylor Swift, but can you tell me the name of the album?
She has an album 88 or something, right?
I love that. 1989.
1989. Yeah.
Yeah.
I came to the right answer through the wrong road.
How did you
I'm
arrive?
not a Taylor Swift fan. I have no idea about her albums, but I had this vague idea that she had an album called 88 or 89. And 88, if I'm not mistaken, is unlucky in China. 8 is unlucky or something.
Okay. No, 88 is actually not unlucky. 88 is considered a very lucky number.
Okay.
What happens here
And I got
is
it
an
very
89
very
is...
wrong.
I'm impressed regardless, okay? Taylor Swift, 1989. A lot of her merchandise was TS 1989.
Oh,
Tiananmen
Tiananmen
Square happened in 1989 in China. And that is obviously something that the Chinese authorities don't want commemorated and remembered significantly. So even though you arrived in a very roundabout, convoluted way, the reason is brilliant because she was just born in 1989, and that's the reason for the name of the album. And Taylor Swift is her name, TS being the initials. It just so happens it coincides with Tiananmen Square, very infamous massacre in the year 1989.
That is a brilliant question, and I cannot take credit for that answer in any way, shape, or form because I got to it completely wrong.
I also like that you thought 88 was an unlucky number, where 88 is considered one of the luckier numbers in China.
I got it. I got it the other way around. Because it's a little explicit, and I don't want to put it on the podcast. I'm going to tell our audience to Google why Bryan Adams' Summer of 69 is actually called Summer of 69. Spoiler alert, it's not because of 1969.
I think that's enough of a giveaway.
Yeah.
But those who want to can go Google further. All right. I love that trivia just because it is such a very random coincidence. And
it is a random coincidence. Such a
way
random
the world works. Yeah, please hit me with your question.
Okay. So this is about a movie. Let me just make that clear before we start the question. One of the moments that inspired the creation of this movie story came to the writer after reading the novel Interview with the Vampire, Anne Rice's novel, which got him thinking about what it would be like to live forever. The director of the movie has stated quite categorically that the inspiration for this movie was not the novel The Strange Life of Ivan Oskin, but many others do think it was.
Okay.
This movie was ranked number 8 on the American Film Institute list of the 10 greatest films in the fantasy genre in June 2008. And it also came in at number 4 in the BBC Culture 100 Best Comedies of All Time list. Which movie?
It is inspired by Interview with the Vampire, which led this director to think about immortality. The writer to think about immortality. It is in fantasy
not inspired.
And comedy.
So there's a short story called The Strange Life of Ivan Oskin.
Okay.
Osokin, sorry. Strange Life of Ivan Osokin from 1905. And the director has categorically denied that it's not, but many people do think that it is related to it. It was listed number 8 in the fantasy genre on AFI's 100 Best list in 2008. And when the BBC Culture 100 best comedies list was released, this was number 4.
Oh,
100 best comedies. So that should
But
tell you what genres the movie belongs to.
fantasy comedy. But AFI lists movies not specifically from the year, right? So what year is this movie from?
This movie is from 1993, released in 1993.
Interview with the Vampire is what you said is the inspiration for the writer.
Yes,
Or
the
rather,
novel, not the movie. The movie was released somewhere
Yeah,
around
because
the
there
same
is a
time.
movie also called Interview with the Vampire.
Yes, starring Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I thought there was some
And
big names
Kirsten
attached to it.
Dunst. And Kirsten Dunst.
Okay, interesting. I cannot think because I can only think of the movie, which is the exact same name.
So there is
please
a
give me
clue I
some-
desperately want to give.
Okay, great.
Okay, there's a clue I desperately want to give. And as we do have listeners in from the US, for them, this clue might be a bit of a giveaway. So this particular episode that we are recording right now
Mhm.
will be going out on February 2nd in India,
Okay.
which is that particular date has all the significance you need
February
to guess the
2nd.
movie. Yes.
Oh, 1993, did you say?
Yes.
Groundhog Day?
Yes, it is Groundhog Day.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Not that.
So there was this, there was a novel,
Hmm.
The Strange Life of Ivan Osokin, in 1905, right?
Okay.
So this novel basically has, in the book, Osokin is given the opportunity to live his life over again by a magician.
Okay.
The Osokin takes him up on the offer only to make the same mistakes all over again.
Okay.
Eventually, he reaches the point in time where he meets the magician again,
Hmm.
who explains to Osokin that he cannot change the recurring wheel that is this trap called life, and that Osokin must learn to sacrifice in order to escape it and to find his salvation.
Interesting.
So a lot of people think that it was the inspiration, but Harold Ramis, the director, says absolutely it was not.
Okay. Wonderful movie. I think my
Yes.
favorite Bill Murray project.
Yes.
I would rank it higher than Ghostbusters by just a notch. It's just
Yes,
a
I
great-
would. I would agree. Because there's more of Bill Murray in this than there is in Ghostbusters. And another piece of trivia: Harold Ramis had initially considered Tom Hanks for this role,
Oh, okay.
but decided
Nice.
not to because Tom Hanks was too nice.
Bill Murray is perfectly casted. He's
Yes,
just
he's
so apt
perfectly
for this.
Do you remember which town the story takes place in?
Oh man, the number of times they repeat it in the movie, I should remember it. Punxsutawney Phil.
Yes.
That's how I remember it. So that was the name of the groundhog.
Yeah, that's the name of the groundhog, and
Yeah.
it's held at Punxsutawney in Western Pennsylvania. It's a
Okay.
real function.
Okay. Yeah.
So it all derived from the Pennsylvania Dutch superstition that if a groundhog emerges from its burrow on February 2nd, if it sees its shadow due to clear weather, it will retreat to its den and winter will go on for 6 more weeks. If it does not see its shadow because of cloudiness, then spring will arrive early.
Right. Wonderful movie. I love the genre of movies, by the way, the whole just repeating the day again and again because it
Time
is
loop. There is a movie called Happy Death Day.
Happy Death Day is the slasher genre.
Yes, the slasher
it-
version of a time loop.
Edge of Tomorrow is science fiction.
Yes. But I
Palm
will also
Springs-
kind of science fiction, Edge of Tomorrow, I did not like the ending. They did
interesting.
not have to go for a happy ending. Okay, spoiler alert to everybody who's seeing it, Tom Cruise survives. But yeah, I mean, like if he had died doing it, that I felt would have been a much more powerful ending.
Right. Then there is Palm Springs, which is I
Palm
think
Springs is the one with
Andy Samberg and
Andy
Christian
Samberg and
Milioti. I think that's
Cristiano
how
Milioti, yeah. They're at a wedding and they keep repeating
Yes.
Yes. That was also a good one. That was the romantic comedy genre version. of that.
Romantic comedy genre. Yeah.
We have one in India, right?
Oh.
There's a Tamil one in India called
wonderful.
Manadu.
Interesting. I've never.
It's very well done because
Okay.
it has an interesting twist on the time loop thing.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
whenever you have a time loop, again, this is spoilers. I'm not going to spoil this because it is genuinely a good movie.
Okay.
Please go watch it.
I shall.
And it has an interesting twist on the time loop version, especially in the second half, which I found very well done.
Another one in the same exact genre is Russian Doll.
Yes,
where-
the Netflix series.
Netflix series.
I
That's
enjoyed
series
season 1 immensely.
tremendously.
Season 2,
It was a great season 1. Season 2 was not too bad, but season 1 was just phenomenal.
I mean, like season 1 was at such a level that it's very difficult to live up to.
And
when you
I
come
love
to
the lead from that the same actor who's in Orange is the New Black as well. She's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
She's phenomenal. Yeah.
Anyways, check out all these movies and TV shows. They're fantastic.
Yes.
And let's move on to our next question. Since we both love etymology.
Oh, my next question was also going to be on etymology.
Okay, so let me do that. This band was named when one of its members used to work at Starbucks and had a catchphrase that he would say very frequently to his customers. What band is this?
There are so many bands circling in my head, but it's a catchphrase that he used to say to customers.
Mm-hmm. While working at Starbucks.
Alt rock band.
Rock, I would just say rock, probably. Pop rock.
Give me a
Alt rock also
timeline.
will
No? I mean, like when would they have been popular? Are they still popular? Starbucks, so yeah, they probably are still popular.
Yeah, and they were formed in 1995.
95.
Let me tell you the names of the band members. The person who used to work at Starbucks was Mike, and this band was formed by Mike and his brother Chad.
This is Nickelback.
Wow, you really know your bands, huh? It is Nickelback, yes.
So yeah, Nickelback. I used to listen to their albums quite.
Okay.
There is this. I know there is this online hate campaign against their music.
Yeah, it
but
is.
I do genuinely enjoy their music. It's not groundbreaking. It's not something that I might remember 40 years from now. But
nothing wrong with some easy entertainment.
Yeah. Chad Kroger's voice on Hero from the Spider-Man soundtrack was genuinely great.
I also like that song. Yeah. Just for our listeners, Mike Kroger used to work at Starbucks, and he would frequently say to his customers while handing them the change that here's your nickel back. And they just thought that was a very fun name. So they decided to name their band after that little catchphrase, Nickelback.
Nickelback. Nice.
All right. You had an etymology question for me.
Yes. I'm going to give you a couple of names, geographical names.
Okay.
And I want you to give me the connect. Bonus points or bragging rights, obviously, because we don't have prizes. If you can give me the official terminology for this.
Okay.
But if you just explain the funda, that'll be fine.
Okay.
So connect La Brea Tar Pits, Lake Tahoe, East Timor, the Mississippi River, Dal Lake, Jog Falls, the Rock of Gibraltar, Sahara Desert. Not an exhaustive list, by the way.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I that's why I kept Sahara Desert last.
Sahara Desert. I think Sahara Desert, by the time we reached that, then I got it. Yeah. Chai tea latte and naan bread. And I can't. So basically, these words mean the same thing, that they are the common noun in their particular language.
Do you know the terminology for that? The I don't say scientific, I'll say linguistic terminology.
I do not know the linguistic terminology.
Tautological names.
Yes. I've heard that word.
A place name is tautological if two differently sounding parts of it are synonymous. This often occurs when a name from one language is imported into another and a standard descriptor is added on from the second language. So La Brea Tar Pits is literally the tar pits. Lake Tahoe is lake. Tahoe is lake in Washoe. East Timor is east because Timor means east. The Mississippi River is Big River because Mississippi means big river in Algonquin. Dal Lake means lake in Balti, which is a Tibetic language. Jog Falls, a jog or joga means waterfall in the local Kannada language. The Rock of Gibraltar it literally means the rock of Tariq. Gibraltar from the Arabic Jebel el Tariq, which means the rock of Tariq. And Sahara Desert, because in Arabic Sahara, it means deserts. The plural is Sahara. Singular terminology is Sahara, and Sahara is the desert. So tautological place names.
So does tautological also apply to things like chai tea and your naan breads and
Yes. Anything where you have two words which literally means the same thing.
Got it. Yeah. I actually got it at Rock of Gibraltar, and when you said Sahara Desert, that's when it was like, okay.
That's when it clicked. I should have left those out.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because before that, I was thinking what could possibly, because East Timor and then lakes. Yeah. Anyways, but great question.
There's an entire Wikipedia page with I think around 100 or 200 names but mostly of places we've never heard of. So by never heard of, I want to clarify that I've never heard of. It doesn't mean that that particular place does not have its own significance.
So let's
Please don't.
not to hurt the sentiments of any of our listeners who are
Yes, exactly.
residents of these places or live near these places.
Question from you, Bob.
Okay, I believe this will be our last question. Which character has these middle names in different languages? In French, it's Elvis. In Finnish, it's Loman. Interestingly, in Icelandic, there's no middle name, but the first name is Trevor. In Swedish, it's Gus. Who am I talking about? Which famous character?
Look, if you can't make out from my face, I am completely lost. This is a character, and their middle names vary with language.
Yes, and that is interesting, right? Why would the middle name vary with language?
Because the moment when you started with the middle name, I thought, okay, he's coming back to Harry Potter and Dumbledore.
Mm-hmm.
Because Alfred, Wolfric, Percival, he has like a
Brian
gazillion middle names.
Dumbledore.
Yeah, Brian Dumbledore, yes. So, but no. And the first name is Trevor in Icelandic.
In Icelandic, yes.
I would have thought it would be something like Sigurdsson or Thorson or something like that. No. Okay, wow, this is interesting. Elvis in French.
Elvis in French, which is one of my favorite of this list.
Elvis in French. The middle name of this character is Elvis in French. Wait, we're not talking about Psych dubbings across the TV show Psych. Gus is given middle names. No. Okay. I'm going too much into that. Was a little too deep. Shout out to the show, by the way. I love that show, Psych. If you've not watched it,
I have not watched the show. I will have to check it out.
No, you will have to give me a clue here. I'm just stumped.
The name of this character is a self-appointed name. The character chooses this name for themselves.
Wait, is it the Wizard of Oz?
No.
He gave his own name to himself. Gave his own name, self-appointed name. Self-appointed name. Okay, give me a time frame now for this character because I'm thinking all over literature for this. Or is it literature? Or it's
it is literature. You're right in literature. Let me give you another hint. The name that we know this character by, famously, that everybody would recognize the name, has French origins. The name itself has French origins. It's a name the character gave themselves.
The character gave themselves the name. I named myself Elvis in French. What character has a middle name Elvis?
So obviously I haven't told you the English name, which would be
a giveaway, obviously.
Yeah.
But French origin name. Person is obviously a famous character.
They wanted to get rid of the character's backstory is that they wanted to get rid of their actual name or whatever, their birth name. So they chose this new name instead. And it is their birth name which has these middle names, by the way.
Oh, okay. So we know them by the name they chose for themselves later.
Yes.
Okay. Because I was thinking something completely different in that case.
Yeah, and I was thinking, the French origin word that I was saying that they chose is for the name that they chose for themselves, but the middle names is for their birth name, or their assigned name, as it were.
Assigned name,
as in the parents would name you, whatever. Yeah.
Nope, I am stumped.
I'm wondering what is a good hint to give without giving it away completely.
Okay,
this should hopefully get you there. Anagram.
Is this Voldemort?
This is Voldemort. This is
His
Voldemort.
middle name is Elvis in French.
And you know why? Because Tom Marvolo Riddle in English will change to I am Lord Voldemort.
Oh, okay. So
but in different languages, they change the name just that
name.
So that the phrase that comes out in the Chamber of Secrets is so in French it becomes Je suis Voldemort, which comes from Tom Elvis Jedusor. I don't know how we pronounce it in
oh God.
French, but
I can see where they would. Oh yes. Now it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Because she made it an anagram. You would have to do that in every language. And my God, Harry Potter's in God knows how many languages.
One of the biggest, largest translated works ever. So
I mean, like, do you know if his last name changes or if that's the name everywhere?
It does. So Riddle, because obviously the fact that his name itself is a riddle, is one of the common ones. But like I said, in French, it's Jedusor. In Greek, it's hurt. In Hungarian, it's Denem. Yeah. In Icelandic, the full name is Trevor Delgum. And I'm probably just mispronouncing it all over the place, but
Yeah.
those are the names.
Wow.
And they try to keep it similar sounding in most languages. So, like in Portuguese, the middle name is Servolo, Tom Servolo Riddle. In Spanish, it is Tom Servolo Riddle, but Riddle is spelled with a Y because Soy Lord Voldemort would need a Y. So Riddle is spelled with a Y.
Yo soy Voldemort. No, you know what's really going to be a problem is if there's a Harry Potter, like not if, at Harry Potter conventions, when people from two different countries come together who've read local translations and then they try to communicate and they're like Tom Marvolo Riddle, they'll be like, who's that?
Which character is that? Yeah.
Yeah,
I have no
who's
idea.
that? I have no idea who Tom Marvolo Riddle is.
I just know Trevor Delgum.
Yeah, so then again, that brings up the question: what did they do for the movie?
I imagine they did change it.
But how many languages can you change it in? I mean, like, do they dub it in like in Iceland and all? They would show the original thing, right?
Again, this is for the books. This is true for the books.
Yeah.
But for the movie,
I really have to find
imagine-
out now what they did for the movie, because I don't think they would have gone to that much trouble. No studio would go to
Interestingly
that
enough,
much
in
trouble.
the movie, he conjures up the letters in thin air. So they would have had to change the VFX for it, I would imagine, if they
Yeah.
were gonna do it in different languages. I have no idea about the movies, but I know in the translated works in the books, these are the different names for Voldemort. Which Voldemort obviously would know is a French origin name, which means flight from death.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that is. And funnily enough, you came up with a Harry Potter question as well. And as soon as you did that, I'm like, oh boy. But I'm glad we had a little journey with this question. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, that's just that was a very, very good question.
I
I
love
had
this.
no idea that this is something that was even remotely done or remotely possible.
Especially Elvis. I think Elvis is just fantastic. I think
Elvis was just fantastic. I mean, like, there's no
Lord
way in
Voldemort,
hell I would have guessed
middle
Elvis.
name was Elvis in
Yeah,
France.
I mean, like, that's just out of the realm of possibility as far as I was concerned. When you say Elvis, I was like, how is it possible that there's a famous character whose middle name first of all keeps changing, and that it's named Elvis? A brilliant question. Brilliant question.
I'm glad I had you entertained.
Yes, so that's the end of our questions for this episode and the time that we have. But before we go, as per tradition, Mr. Aditya Kashyap, do you have a question for our viewers?
If Mike and Chad had formed their band in India instead of the US, what would have been their band name? This one is a thinker.
No, I don't think it's a thinker, but chalo, let's leave it up to the audience to decide. That's all for this episode. Thank you all for listening in. We hope you enjoyed the show and learned something new. If you liked what you heard, please consider subscribing to our podcast and leaving us a review on your favorite podcast platform. We've noticed a lot of people are listening in, but not many of you guys are rating us, so please do. It'll help us reach a wider audience and also allow more people to discover and enjoy the show. We'd also love to hear from you, feedback, suggestions, and trivia. You can reach us on Instagram at @AreYouQuizzingMe. We appreciate your support and look forward to sharing more episodes with you in the future. Aditya will be back with the fact check after the musical sting. So that's it from me. Thank you again for tuning in.
Happy Groundhog Day to anybody who's celebrating it.
Yes, happy Groundhog Day.
Bye-bye.
And here's the fact check for the episode. Shashi Tharoor, as a panelist on a debate show on ABC, did claim that Churchill wrote, "Why hasn't Gandhi died yet?" in response to the Bengal famine. However, the direct quote is not verified and was possibly not said in the context of the famine. Only 5 scientists have won 2 Nobel Prizes: Barry Sharpless, Marie Curie, Linus Pauling, John Bardeen, and Frederick Sanger. 2 organizations have also been awarded a double Nobel Prize: International Committee of the Red Cross and United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. There are 11 wizarding schools in the Harry Potter universe which are considered the prestigious institutions, but there are many more smaller schools in the wizarding world as well. And that's all for the fact check.